Hi, I'm Tom Abernathy with WBHS Channel 9. You know, sometimes it's a little unfair because people in front of the camera tend to get all the glory, whether it comes to news, film, anything of the sort. But what about the people behind the cameras? The people doing all the camera work or the editing work? Well, right now I'm here to tell you about a certain person who mans the camera. I'd like to tell you about this friend and colleague of mine, who I've only been working with very recently. He goes by the name of Rapunzel. Nobody really knows his last name, but I can tell you one thing. He's quite possibly the greatest cameraman on Earth. No joke. Best on Earth.
I'm usually the director for things, you know, that we do here on like the creative division or like for intern work and stuff. But whenever I work with Rapunzel, he's just so good. He doesn't need any direction at all. I mean, like, you won't have to tell him what camera angles to get, like how, like what movements to do. He just already knows. That's just how good he is.
Editing Rapunzel's footage it wasn't a challenge. It was a pleasure. I mean, it was amazing footage. I mean, truly, he did all the work for me. My job seems like it's oblivious. Don't let my producer know that. Otherwise, I'll be out of the job. But I'd have to say he made it easy for me. He is probably the best cameraman I have ever met with.
Just his skyscapes and his rule of thirds, composition. I mean, the way he uses colors even, it's phenomenal. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna come right out there and say he's the world's greatest cameraman.
Well, the first and most recent project I've worked with Rapunzel was we kind of covered a post-game show. Interviewed a lot of people at a basketball game. I believe Brentwood was playing Page High School. Now, we didn't win this game, but we were interviewing a lot of students over what they thought about the game, what they thought could have gone better. And just working with him, I noticed that this guy is in a league of his own. I mean, thankfully, this guy has so much talent that I don't even have to tell him what to do. Which is a good thing, because I can barely understand a word that the guy says.
Rapunzel, how did you get your start in the field of cinematography?
About 5 years ago. No, 4. I was at Electron Express. I saw a camera. Thought I could do that. I did it.
The only problem working with Rapunzel is he kind of mumbles a little bit when he talks. You know, he'll be like, you know what it is, and you don't know what he said. So, but you're scared to ask him because you're afraid to like beat you up or something.
Now, Rapunzel, can you take us through a day of your line of work?
I sleep standing up so I can get out of bed faster. Right when I wake up, I go down. Breakfast champions, most important part. After that, do my stretches. Start with the hand. The hand, most important part. You be touching stuff and the camera, buttons everywhere. You gotta stay loose. Good burn, good burn, good burn. Good burn, good burn, good burn. 2 first thumbs. 2 first thumbs.
He gets these angles. They're just ridiculous. I mean, usually anyone would need a tripod. And even though sometimes he can move the camera, but watching the footage, it's almost completely stable. As if his arms work like a professional crane or something like that. I mean, and just the ways that he would get angles, it's like he considers this as some sort of athletic sport.
What exactly is going through your head while you're manning your camera?
Exactly what you said. I man the camera. The man. I hold it down, poke it up. You gotta hold it down. Gotta make sure you know where it is. I always feel it. Best way to know where it is. I keep it over here if I want it on the right side, left side, but I go right mainly. My thought is, when you holding the camera, you don't want to drop it.
He worked so hard. He did so much. He sacrificed all the time. There was never anything that I could ask him to do that he wouldn't do. He was the best cameraman that ever came through this program.
Now, being the alleged greatest cameraman on Earth, what kind of salary do you make?
I don't know what that means.
How much money do you make when you?
Oh, yeah, money. Like 20.
20,000, 20 million?
Yeah.
There'd be times where when I'd be working with Rapunzel where I would just give him general sort of directions, you know, like any talent would do with a cameraman. Just like, okay, well, we've got these interviews, now let's go ahead and get some B-roll, everything like that. And he doesn't like taking orders.
And then I'm gonna need you to just go out and get like some B-roll, stuff like that. Cool with that?
Man, I know what to do.
Sure.
Yeah, I know what to do.
In fact, he frightens me.
Just get some B-roll, alright? Just different shots all around the school.
I know what to do. Alright.
Alright.
Muscle. Gotta get the meals. That's how they get big. Because the camera. You can't lift the camera if you got nothing. I saw one guy broke his elbow.
Nothing can explain him. Only 4 words. World's greatest cameraman.
Now, what is your favorite type of camera that you like to use?
I got a gray one. It's good.
He is perfect. It's so passionate. It's the way this guy can really work. It's like love. When a man and a camera come together, it's a heartfelt thing. I'm sorry.
Being the greatest cameraman on Earth, what kind of advice would you give to all the young, aspiring cameramen?
You know, I mean, get a camera. Back up, Bob. Back up. Back up.
I'll tell you what, it is quite an experience working with Rapunzel, the greatest cameraman on Earth.